I wonder if there was any lessons you picked up about, and maybe it's just the phraseology, certain things
Yeah.
that you said, certain things that you picked up using their first name, all of
Yeah.
that. Are there any little tricks that you think people can use when it comes to their practices, when it comes to better communicating with their clients, or at least conveying the service in a better manner?
I think it is. I think there's a couple things. One is, and I see this a lot in the services business. I mean, part of it was because I was an entrepreneur. I have an attorney, I have an accountant, I have a wealth planner. I had these people, not because I talked to them every day, and hopefully I needed them sparingly, especially on the attorney side, just for setup, hopefully. Setup and acquisition.
That's
versus,
exactly right, yeah.
I got this letter. But again, like there was such relief in knowing that for a long time I could call Rob. If I need something, got a question, whether it's like, here's a sticky employment thing that happened, help me talk through this. And just knowing, having that person there. And it was because they would take time to get to know the business. They would patronize the business. And as he was growing his book of business, that's who he wanted to know. His ultimate goal, he wanted to get into estate planning. He wanted to get out of business law, transaction law. He wanted to get into estate planning, estate law. Great. And so some of that, he just knew he needed to get to know these people. But he went in through business owners as they grew their wealth to something that he could help them plan as they headed toward retirement and into life planning. And so if it's something about them, we all have this if we're like at a big room networking meeting. Okay, Tyson, I can remember it's Tyson's name. I'm about to shake hands with 15 people. So people do the trick like, hey, Tyson, good to meet you, Tyson. How's your day, Tyson? And it's like, what I'm doing. At that
Absolutely.
point.
Yeah.
Whereas like.
Also drives me nuts. It's one of those ones that's like, okay. Or the worst, not to shift us too far off the topic, but whenever they're using it to manipulate me a little bit, they're like, as a salesperson, well, Tyson, like, they're like,
right.
Listen, you didn't need to say my name right there. Like
right.
you're using it gratuitously at this point. Yes.
Versus something that I can remember better than your name, or a way to help me remember your name is something that I also kind of gravitate to. So I heard earlier, you guys are from near like outside Columbia, Missouri.
Yep.
And so like earlier when we were talking with the crew that was here before you came in, I'm thinking like, okay, Columbia, I've never been to Columbia, Missouri, but I was kind of outside St. Louis. St. Louis just got a nonstop flight to London. I know that because I'm an aviation guy, so I read that in the headlines. And St. Louis is a pure city. So like there's these things that I can be like, man, Columbia. So like we can sort of relate on something. Now I'm forever going to know Tyson's from Columbia. So whatever that is for you in your practice, getting to know folks. I ran a gifting company for 11 years before I sold it and eventually got a chance to do what I do now. But when we would help people think through corporate gifting strategy, so law firms were our biggest client. And so they would send gifts to clients to retain at the end of the year. They would definitely send to prospects. They would send for interns they wanted to hire. There were lots of reasons law firms would get gifts. We said, look, you can send the box of chocolates. You can send the frozen steaks. But what is it that's unique about your firm? And so we would walk them through that. And then, again, our longest running client was the largest law firm in town. And then we got to a point where they said, man, if you really want to impress this executive, what do you know about their spouse? Or what do you know about their kids? Or what do you know about their hobby? Because again, you could send them some nice coffee. We can send them some unique, we specialize in kind of artisan made goods. So It's not the same stuff from every city. We worked with multi-city firms to send a coffee from each city, for example. But we started to say like, what if you spent this allocation instead of the executive who has everything? The guy running a multi-million-dollar company, healthcare executive, he doesn't need another set of leather coasters. He does not need, another rocks glass or even a nice bottle of whiskey. Do you know what his wife likes to do? Where's his kid go to college? Where did he go to college? So again, there's those elements that you can, if you're willing to do a little bit of research or make that blatant and memorable when you have that next sort of discovery call or meeting, just to say, yeah, man, he mentioned he just went to a golf trip to Scotland. He loved it because his family's from there. You file that away somewhere. And you want to remember it, but put that in your CRM, store that, and then randomly or whatever you send something, or you just bring that up. Hey, last year when we met, you had just come back from that Scotland golf trip. Did you go back? Or, oh no, this year we went out to, Bannon Dunes. We played Oregon for a little bit. So whatever those things are, it's a little bit of effort, but it's that special touch versus, hey, I saw the quarterly returns were great.